What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. Jake here. So as you've been seeing on our recent videos, Luke and I have been flipping as much as we possibly can. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how we have pivoted our flipping side of things to no longer make this costly mistake. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we're actually going to jump over to the computer and I'm going to comp a property that Luke and I just purchased, and I'm going to show you what to do and what not to do that we have learned the hard way time and time again. Alrighty, we are over here on the old computer and we are running comps on a property that Luke and I just purchased. So the mistake that I was talking about that when we first got started flipping was we were literally putting tons of money into each and every single flip. Really didn't matter on what the property needed. You know, we would come in, redo flooring, redo the kitchen, redo the bathrooms, you know, throw in new windows, do landscaping, and we weren't really paying attention to the market and what the neighborhood, you know, really called for. So there was a lot of properties that, even though we still made profit on them, we really could have made quite a bit more if we would have just, you know, toned it back, not done absolutely everything, and the properties still would have sold extremely fast. So do not make that mistake. As you'll see on this property, this is something that is already a really clean property. It's dated, but it is super clean. So since these pictures were taken, the previous owner threw on a new roof, new AC unit. It already has dual pane windows. The interior, you know, when you're walking through, is it a property that, you know, I would want to live in? It's not. I'd want it a little bit more updated. But there is a buyer for this home. This is perfect starter home, perfect investment property for someone that's going to buy and hold. So you can kind of see through some of these pictures. These are the old pictures. These aren't the new ones. But I mean, it's a decently clean house and it's livable. So in the past, Luke and I would have come in, redid all the flooring, totally redo the kitchen, redo the bathrooms and everything else. So on this property, we are actually going to just clean up the yard. The yard had, you know, some overgrown trees, you know, some raised planter boxes that did not look good. So we've actually torn those out and we're just going to relist it without putting, you know, any other money into it. Couple years ago, that would have been unheard of for us. We would not have done it because we were trying to make each and every single property exactly what we would want to live in, which, guys, don't do that. Don't make that mistake. So this property is actually on its sides a busier street. Robert Road is a busier street in this market, but the big thing is it sides it. It doesn't quite face it. So the garage access is off Robert Road, but you know, I don't think someone's going to care as much. So when we're looking at comps for this property, it was actually a little more challenging than you know, just a standard neighborhood, because you do have to take in the busy road into fact. So we found a couple comps. Like this one here is actually about 200 square feet smaller than our subject property, doesn't have a garage, and this one faces Robert Road. And this one went pending at $259. And just realized just now, it is actually only a 1 bathroom, which is really good for us. Our property is a 3-2 with a 2-car garage. So we're gonna look through these pictures. So this one actually might be, you know, slightly more updated than even ours. So you're probably looking at these pictures saying, oh, this doesn't look that great. And, you know, and this is actually probably still more updated than ours is. You know, it had a couple stainless steel appliances, you know, the microwave there, you know, looks like a decent sink, stainless steel dishwasher, interesting countertops, but they look, you know, they're okay. Laminate flooring, whereas ours has, you know, the old school 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 tile and carpet in a lot of the living areas and bedrooms. A couple of the bedrooms are actually kind of mismatched carpet. One of them was like a bright green, and the other one's, normal brown color. So as you can see on this is what we were looking at. So this house is a little funky. You can see there's only one bathroom, and then out of that 1,400 square feet, this is 100% an addition. I'm guessing there was either a carport and they enclosed it into this. But yeah, big step down there. So we're using this as a comp for our property, and we're liking the way this looks. So there was another property that we found that was actually very, very similar to ours, which also sides that busy street. And here it is. And this one just recently sold for $261. Literally a little over a month ago. So when we look at this property, same exact thing. Sides the busy street, not quite on it. On this one, you can see that this used to be the garage and they turned it into living. So this house is slightly bigger than ours, about 150, 200 square feet bigger than ours, but 300 to 400 square feet of that is this garage that they converted. So keep that in mind. So we're gonna look through these pictures. Kind of that same thing, livable, but not necessarily updated really in any way whatsoever. Exterior, kind of shitty. Roof looks newer, AC unit looks older. Here's the kitchen. So our property is very similar to this, where it has the same style tile in ours. And it's very hard for us not to come in and tear all this out. We want to, but we will actually make more money if we just relist it without putting any money into it. So also, since this property is on a busier street, it wasn't a property that Luke and I really wanted to try to push the market on. We wanted to just, try to fly under the radar and sell it in a price point where people are looking right now and they're having a very hard time finding properties. So this one's decent, move-in ready, not super updated like some of our other flips we do. This is kind of like a funky room, second living room. This is that garage they converted. You can see the washer and dryer here. So this one here sold for $261. Another good comp for us. Let's see if there's any others that are also on the same street. There's that one we just looked at. Let's see what this one is. So this one sold about a month and a half ago. Same thing. This one fronts the busy street, is 1,300 square feet. I do not believe this one has a garage. And this one is definitely a little rougher. So we were looking at all of these comps, and with the price that we bought it at and our house being nearly the same condition as this, if not maybe a little bit better than this one, and being 300 to 400 square feet bigger than this subject property, and with a 2-car garage, we figured there's really no way that we can lose on this property in the current market. So since this one's a little smaller, I probably wouldn't use this comp. All right, I think this is the one that we were looking for. So this one actually sold in August, and it's very similar size to ours. Ours is 1,550 with a 2-car garage. This one's 1,750, and it's the same thing that they did on the last one. As you see on tax records, it's actually only 1,474, and they went ahead and enclosed the garage to make it more livable space, which personally, we actually prefer if it's a garage with a smaller house. Just keep that in mind. So this one is a decent house. You can see it's nice newer roof, looks like dual pane windows. Exterior looks, it looks okay. It looks like it could use a little work. Paver driveway, no garage. And here we go on the inside. Same thing, move-in ready. Someone can move into this. You know, they're not gonna have to dump it. And see, someone can move right into this. They're not gonna have to put a ton of money into it. Like I said, it's not super updated, you know, like people see on these channels, you know, HGTV and whatnot. But, you know, there is a buyer for this type of home. Someone that can't afford the fully updated house, but they wanna be a homeowner. You know, rent prices are getting crazy, so they wanna buy. And that is exactly what we had in mind when buying this property. So this one's like same thing, pretty clean, decent little property. And this one sold actually in August for $272. Very similar size house to ours, which are the numbers that we were kind of basing ours off of. So we're gonna jump over to running some numbers on this property. Had a couple other properties we were checking out earlier. Clear this out. So as I said, we were gonna run this property being very safe. So when we bought it, we were running it actually at a $250,000 exit. We were gonna clean up the yard, and that cost us about $1,500. Closing cost to buy was $3,500. Closing cost to sell, 3.5% realtor fees. And holding costs, since we're just relisting this, we only plan on holding this for about 2 months. We actually bought it for $210,000. Our hard money lender charges us 12%. We put down 10%. So on that, we're looking at, you know, right around $1,900 a month. So let's say if we held it for 2 months, it's gonna be $3,800. And at $250, which is what we were running it at before, with a $210 purchase, we are gonna make $22,000. Keep in mind, that's not a huge deal, but since we're literally just gonna buy it and relist it, we felt we're very safe at that number. Now, seeing some of these other comps, I think 260 is easily attainable. Same exact numbers, what we're putting into it. And on this one, we're actually looking at more like $32,000 worth of profit. And what we saw on this one is they were actually able to get $272,000. We never, you know, expect to make that top of the market when we're running numbers, but we're gonna run it just for fun to see if we could hit 272. All numbers are the same, 1,500 into it for yard cleanup, 3,500, 3.5. We will actually be looking at about $43,500 in profit. So, like I was telling you in the beginning, we were running this property just to relist it. I'm gonna break down the numbers of if we were to come in and do a full rehab. We would probably be able to hit 285 to 290. We would end up putting about 40,000 into this. Our holding costs would be much more, because instead of just relisting it, it would actually take about 90 days for the turn. So instead of just $1,800 a month times 2, we're looking at more like times 4, which is closer to like a $7,200 figure. And with us buying it at 210, we will actually make less money. You can see here, $19,000 profit with selling it at 290, but doing a full rehab. So guys, you have to start looking at your flips with this in mind. Look at the neighborhood. Does it actually need a full rehab? A lot of times it doesn't. You know, in this property that we just bought, There's mismatched tiles. You know, the countertops aren't granite. The cabinets aren't new. But the big ticket items, the roof, the AC, dual pane windows are all in really, really good shape. So someone is gonna wanna buy this house because it's a solid 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage in a decent area. Someone will buy this. Biggest point here, guys, is I know the full rehabs and putting out a great product is awesome. It looks great. You know, it's a very pretty house, but you have to look at the numbers and see if you're actually gonna make more money by doing less. Well, I hope this was super helpful, and I will see you here shortly. All right, guys, I hope that was super helpful when you are comping properties and you are flipping your own properties. If you find this video helpful, be sure to drop us a comment below. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate the subscriptions. The more you can share our page, the better. We want to get in front of more and more people, and it drastically helps us. We appreciate it, guys. Till next time, talk to you soon.